Hey, this is Corey Rogers, VP of Marketing for National Equipment Dealers. Today we're on site here in sunny Florida at Bell Trucks annual training session. We're here in a mine and we've got multiple models of Bell trucks and Fiori trucks in the background. Bell Trucks America puts this on every year for all their dealers. We've got a large group of National Equipment Dealer salespeople here, and we're going to get firsthand opportunities to drive the trucks, load the trucks, dump the trucks, and get to know them firsthand so we're better prepared to support our customers in the field. So come along with us today and we'll share some of the opinions of our sales staff, their firsthand opinions about how these trucks are operating, some of the new features and functions and what their thoughts are about that. And hopefully you'll get a good preview of what these trucks can do for you in your operation. One of the great things about this training is that we get hands-on, one-on-one instruction from Bell experts, both from South Africa, from Germany, from the UK, and also from here with Bell Trucks Americas. They ride along with each of our salespeople, and we're able to ask all those questions that sometimes you might be embarrassed to ask and fully understand all the features and functions on these trucks. Training's very, very important certainly to Bell, but to National Equipment Dealers. We want to make sure we are able to provide a consultative approach to the sales process and really make sure that what we sell to customers what they need, and make sure that they understand how to best utilize the product so they get the best efficiency and productivity out of it. And that's what these trainings are for. As you can see here in front, I've got a B25E, B30Es, and we have the B45E. So you kind of have a nice collection of all the different trucks. Bell also makes a B50E and a B60E. But this is a good snapshot of the majority of their product line from small to large. And Bell's got a lot of great features. We'll talk to some of the Bell experts today about some of those, as well as get some basic opinions from our sales team and just their opinions about some of the changes that Bell's made even recently on some of these trucks. Bell Trucks Americas is also the master distributor for Fiori. Fiori makes small, very unique trucks. You have the ability to actually turn the entire seat around. And I think the one we're looking at right now has wide tires on it. That's 8.3 cubic yard capacity, 12-ton size truck. You see, very, very versatile. Has the ability to turn and lift the bed without having to maneuver the truck. These do come with AC and all kinds of great features. That's the D120. Of course, Bell Trucks Americas offers those just like they do the Bell trucks. And National Equipment Dealers is an authorized distributor for the Fiori product. Fiori also makes self-batching concrete trucks, and they have one of their self-batching concrete trucks over here for us to take a look at today. We'll take a look at that and talk to one of their experts as well. Hey guys, I'm standing here next to two of our sales guys from Georgia, Jason Soulsby and Justin Hopkins. These guys are killing it out there in the field. They're selling every product we sell, but one of their favorite products to sell, of course, is the Bell trucks. And I'm going to ask each one of them, what are your top three things? What are either feedback from customers or, what are you guys hearing, top three things on the Bell trucks that really stand out to both you and to your customers, and even from just getting in here at this training, and driving the trucks. I got Justin first. Justin, tell us about it.
Top three. All right. I think the biggest one, obviously, is the comfortability of the cab. Cab's big, it's comfortable, it's spacious, it's roomy. Second thing is these trucks are super powerful. Transmissions are great in these trucks. There's a lot of technology that goes into pulling up out of a hole, going up a hill with a heavy load. The third thing would be all the safety features that come with the truck. It's got I-tip, it's got, ride control, it's got, brake assist. It's got an advanced retarder system for when you're going down hills and so you're not riding the brakes.
Now we're going to go to Jason Soulsby. Jason, your territory is what, north of Atlanta, a little bit? Jason's been in the industry for many years, working for other competitors. Now we brought him home to National Equipment Dealers. Excited to have him on board. And Jason's had some experience renting some of these trucks and proposing some of these trucks. Have you sold any yet, Jason?
Yes, a couple.
Sold a couple of these trucks. So give us some opinions that you're hearing from your customers about it and some feedback.
Yeah, Corey, I like this Bell truck. It's I've seen most of the trucks in the industry. Over the years, I've been on a lot of them, and some of the things I like about the Bell truck is the creature comforts of the cab. It's like it's luxury. You know, it's a nice truck. It's these operators don't mind getting up in there in the morning and getting in a truck like this. You know, it's real comfortable. It's a smooth ride. It's you know, making a few laps here at the sand pit, it's amazing the difference in some of the other brands as the way this truck is just smooth. You know, the auto greasing system, you know, in the mornings when people are trying to do the pre-maintenance, you know, the operators, they like that there's not a, you know, dipsticks and all that. It monitors, Fleetmatic monitors everything, and you can kind of check and make sure you're good to go. You know, if it's green light, it's time to go, you know. So it takes a lot of the guesswork out of the maintenance part. So,
you know, that's a really good point. And Fleetmatic is, you referenced Fleetmatic. Fleetmatic is Bell's online telematics system, and it's very advanced. It can be set up to send reports to the equipment manager or the owner or the site supervisor, alerting you of fault codes, of geolocation, of maintenance intervals, and all sorts of different types of information, including productivity information. So that's a great feature and good thing to mention. Thanks, Jason. So we're making our rounds. You know, NED spans 5 states. We've got 18 different branches. We just talked to a couple guys from Georgia, but now I've got one of our top salesmen, Lee Monzi, standing here with me. Lee's based out of Clayton, North Carolina. And Lee sells a lot of Bell trucks. And so I thought I'd get his opinion on a couple things that really stand out to him about the Bell truck product line.
I'd say top 3 things on the Bell trucks that I like. Number 1, ease of getting in the morning and doing your daily maintenance. No more pulling dipsticks, no more having to raise the hood, pull a dipstick. Bell's actually asking you to use the monitoring system on the monitor. When you go in the morning, you do your daily checklist, you go in, everything's in green, you're good to go. Everything's being monitored through Fleetmatics, everything's being documented. You can go on there and have that set without having to pull a dipstick and having to say, oh, did I do this, did I not do that? As long as that screen's green, you're good to go. That's my number 1 thing I would say. Number 2, you've got heated and adjustable mirrors on it. No more getting out of the cab, walking all the way down, walking back up, adjusting a mirror, walking all the way back down, walking all the way back up, getting in your seat, realizing I didn't quite tweak it just right. You go back down, come back and tweak it again. You're eliminating safety factors of a trip, a slip, or a fall with that. Number 3, I would say, is the auto greaser system. It comes standard with the auto greaser system. As long as you're keeping it half full, you're gonna have that truck greasing on a daily basis. It's easy to hook up with just an automatic grease gun or a hand pump. You're using cheap red grease in it. You don't have to use the expensive moly grease, and it's gonna push through the system on a daily basis.
That was pretty awesome, first take, and that's the reason he's top salesman. So anyway, we're gonna move on to some other guys in our group and kind of get their opinions. So I'm standing here next to Brent Scott. Brent is a Florida guy, and he covers the territory just, I guess it's Tampa and north of Tampa, that area. Brent's done a phenomenal job with us. He's been on board with us for what, 2.5 years, almost 3 years? Doing a great job. He sells the white elephant. He sells just about anything and everything out there. And one of his favorite things to sell is, of course, Bell trucks. And he's here attending this Bell truck training. But Brent, tell us a little bit about, maybe just give us 1 to 3 things that you really think stand out about the Bell truck, if you could.
Things on the Bell truck that I really like are the cab. Cab's quiet, the instrumentation, the screen, the backup display on that thing is massive, so it is huge. One of the largest screens I've seen in a truck. Also, the integrated scale is really nice, and the I-tip as well, where you have different modes for what you're spreading, so you can have a hard stop, like on wet sticky material, or you can do load spreading as well. So, and the onboard scale is really nice. Auto lube is nice. That's a standard feature on a Bell truck.
Very good. Thanks, Brent. If you're in the Tampa or Tampa North area looking for somebody to work with on your heavy equipment solutions, rentals, or purchases, please reach out to Brent, as well as any of our sales guys across our 5-state footprint. I'm here with Kenneth Tysinger. He's based out of North Carolina. Kenneth has done a lot of things for us over the years through all the different acquisitions. He started out with May Heavy Equipment, and I think worked with the May Group, including the NED Group, for over 20 years now. And Kenneth worked in all different aspects of the business, and his most recent job was in used equipment. Did a great job for us in used equipment, and now he's gone back into the field as a salesman, and he's doing a great job there. And Kenneth has got a lot of experience with the Bell trucks. So Kenneth, tell us a little bit about the things, top 1 to 3 things that you think stand out about the Bell truck.
I think one of the biggest things, and the customers really enjoy the feature, is the walking beam suspension, which it creates better ground contact with your
rear tandem tires. With the walking beam, the tires are moving this way, and our competitors are using an A-frame type in the back, and so those tires are going this way when it gets into a rough terrain type of situation, and they're losing ground contact with one of their tires. So that's a feature that I really enjoy. One of the other things that the customers love is we have the onboard weigh system, and we have also a bin tip counter, which counts how many loads you've dumped, and you can reset that every morning, and it'll keep a log of how many trips you've made that day, and you can set it for daily reports, weekly reports, monthly reports. And so a lot of guys, that's how they're getting paid, is how many loads they hauled in a day, and that's an easy way for the customer to keep up with what the truck's done that day, and they can print out a report whenever they need it.
Yeah, that's good stuff, Kenneth. So you're talking about the counter screen. So as an operator, when you start your day, you zero it out, and you can zero out the bin dumps, and basically it'll count how many times you dump throughout the day. And then at the end of the day, you just write that total down instead of marking little notches on your hand and that kind of stuff. So it makes it really convenient. And then in addition to that, I heard you refer to the reports. And of course, the reports are done through the Fleetmatic system online. And so there's a lot of productivity data and information that you can pull from those reports, and we can actually set them up to generate an email directly to site supervisors, equipment managers, or those types of people that are in charge of the trucks working on their job sites. Great stuff. Thanks, Kenneth. So now we get the real scoop, because we're going to talk to someone from our service department, Martin Ackerman. Martin has been around the Bell product for all of his life, actually. Martin comes from South Africa, where Bell originated and where Bell is built. They build some of their trucks in South Africa, and I think some are assembled in Germany. But Martin is full-on South African, and he knows every inch of these trucks from the time I think you started your career. You started it out with Bell. So Martin, fortunately for us, has gone from our Houston branch, managing the service department there, and he's come to Fort Pierce, Florida, where one of our locations is in Florida. We've got 3 different locations in Florida, one getting ready to open up in Fort Myers, but we're based in Tampa, we're based in Fort Pierce, we're based in Apopka, just north of Orlando, and continuing to grow. So Martin is our VP of Service for the Florida area, and does a great job for us. We're really fortunate to have his knowledge about the Bell truck product line that helps us maintain a huge fleet of rental trucks as well as customer-owned trucks that we've sold throughout the state. Martin, give me like 1 to 3 things that from a service perspective really stand out as it relates to the Bell trucks.
The service support we get from Bell is out of this world. They cannot get us an answer, which they usually do. Within 24 hours, we have an answer to the issue and a repair procedure to the issue. It's a very simple machine to maintain. It's an easy machine to operate, especially with the new latest display unit that walks you through the diagnostic side of the machine. And then, of course, on the service side, there's just nothing to it. We send our technicians to Bell training, to the intermediate training, to the advanced training. We get them certified on Mercedes-Benz, Allison, and then of course on the machines itself, which makes it so much easier for us to maintain and do the maintenance on these machines.
He mentioned Mercedes and Allison. These machines are all equipped with Mercedes-Benz turbo diesel engines, and they have Allison transmissions, Kessler drop boxes, just really well built, high quality components through and through. And the one thing he mentioned, I think it's important to note, is the training. We really put our service technicians through training. It's very important to us as a company, because not only do we have to support customers in the field that have purchased trucks from us, but we've got hundreds of trucks in our own rental fleet that we have to keep running and support on a day-to-day basis throughout 18 branches. So thank you, Martin. Appreciate all you do for us. And now I'm continuing our journey of annoying all our great salesmen we've got here at this training for Bell. Standing next to me is Mark Robertson. Mark is based in Fort Pierce and works out of our Fort Pierce branch, and has been around the heavy equipment industry in just about every capacity you can imagine, from equipment manager to, you've actually owned heavy equipment, you've run heavy equipment, and he's working in the sales group, knows everybody and anybody in that area, and is just doing a great job for us. And so Mark, just give me your impressions partly from yourself as well as from some of your customers that you've sold Bell trucks to or rented Bell trucks to, what are 1 to maybe 3 things that really stand out, something that really you hear on a regular basis from your customers that they love about the Bell truck?
Most of my customers love the fact that the hill assist options on the Bell trucks. Also the speed limits. You can set speed limits on these trucks and makes the lines a lot safer.
Mark, you just got on some trucks and drove them around. I mean, just your impressions as an operator as well as a salesperson. I mean, what do you like about driving the trucks?
Love how smooth they are. They're one of the most comfortable cabs I've ever been in.
Thanks, Mark. If you're in the Fort Pierce area looking for heavy equipment for rental or for sale, reach out to Mark Robertson. He is an excellent person to deal with, very honest, great integrity, and he's there to support you out of that office. So I'm standing here next to Kyle Partain and Alex Forsythe. These are 2 of our newbies, I guess you could say. These guys have really put in their dues and they've gotten the opportunity to go into the pros now. So they're out selling in the field. Alex worked, I think, in a number of different capacities, so everything from sales to service and support sales to service writer. So he's been heavy in the service side of things, and then also now he's gotten an opportunity to work in our sales department. And Kyle has been our equipment manager for the last year and done a great job, helping our guys in the field with their fleet and with rentals and sales and all of that. So they're excited to be out in the field. And I think one of the things that they're most excited about is the opportunity to learn about these Bell trucks and sell these Bell trucks. So far, guys, just kind of being new to this, getting in the cab, driving the trucks, what are your first impressions? And maybe share, what are the feedback that you've heard from some of your customers? 1 to 2 things.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things you look at when you're looking at a Bell truck is, number one, the comfortability. When you're riding in the cab, it's extremely spacious. It's very easy to operate. There's a lot of other things, on the truck that, stand out from our competitors. Number one, we got brakes on 2 axles instead of 3, but we have the same amount of discs, which allows us to have less weight. So we have the most horsepower per ton, compared to our competitors.
That's a great point. Very good point. I knew you'd come up with something from the service department. I appreciate that. That's good stuff. Kyle, what are your thoughts, buddy?
Well, I'm pretty new to the game, so just operating here for a handful of times, but I have to say, to Alex's point, comfortability stands out. I think safety is another thing that stands out here compared to our competition. Accessibility is another big one. I mean, this truck is, as far as service goes, is a very accessible truck, easy to access. I know the planetaries and wet discs obviously helps with that, and it's my top 3 takeaways.
Deal. Guys, thank you for letting me put you on the spot and embarrass you a little bit. You do a great job. You're going to do awesome for us out in the field. Just keep at it. Standing next to Drayson Carey. Drayson's our VP of Sales for Georgia. Drayson has been in all aspects of the business. He worked in service, he's worked in sales, and most recently, last year, took the position of Vice President of Sales for our Georgia division. Georgia's got 4 different locations. We're in just west of Atlanta in Dallas, Georgia. We have a Savannah location in Richmond Hill. We're also in Douglas, Georgia, and Macon, Georgia. And very excited about the Bell trucks. We don't sell the Bell trucks throughout our entire footprint. We do rent them in Georgia, but in most locations throughout Georgia, we have rentals available and used Bell trucks and other things that we can do to provide solutions. And Drayson's done a good job with our sales team, getting them excited, motivated, and trained. And part of that is getting them to these kind of trainings that Bell offers. And so Drayson, tell us 2 to 3 things that you're hearing from your customers or things that you've noticed yourself with your service background about the Bell trucks that really stand out to you.
Absolutely. First, we had the opportunity, Bell Trucks America allowed us to come out here to a mine site in Florida. We hadn't been able to run around in the trucks. First thing I noticed and what I hear from the customer is the operator comfort. As soon as you sit in the seat, it automatically adjusts to your weight, which is an incredible feature. And then you're running around, you get loaded, go up the hill, you can stop on a hill, the truck's gonna automatically brake for itself for you. Extremely safe truck, rollover parameters to prevent any rollovers. Going back to the comfort though, it's a smooth truck. It's like power steering, like you're running in a Cadillac. Great manufacturer, just a great product altogether. Couldn't ask for a better team to work with. The people at Bell, the service side of it, the support. If you ever need anything, you can get them on the phone, no problems. They also have a QR code that you can scan from the cab if you have any fault codes that do come up and you're wanting to be able to troubleshoot, get in touch with our service team with that information up front. you have parts already ordered before you even have to have a tech come out.
And now we get to come to the big dog, Mr. Bell himself. This is Neville Painter. Neville's the president of Bell Trucks Americas. Bell Trucks Americas has been in the U.S. importing Bell trucks and now Fiori concrete mixers and dumpers and other products like hammers and all kinds of new stuff coming out. But they're specialties Bell trucks, of course. And Neville actually comes from the factory and has spent many, many years working for the factory. And so just kind of get his opinion about the importance of doing these kind of trainings for the distributors that support and sell the Bell product throughout the country, as well as just maybe one or two things about the Bell product that make it unique. And Fiori's right behind us, so if you want to mention something about any of the Fiori products, that'd be great too, Neville.
Sure, man. Thanks for giving me the chance, Corey. This is a really good opportunity for us to have dealer sales guys down here learning about the product. We changed our product training some years ago to make sure that we got people out of the seats in the classroom and into seats in the trucks. And it's a wonderful thing to see a guy after he's driven a Bell truck for the first time and he now starts talking about that truck. He's talking about a lot of different things from when he was just looking at a brochure. So this training works really well. We love the dealers. The dealers have done a fantastic job for Bell and the product and the awareness in the market has been excellent. And we just celebrated, just a couple of weeks ago, we celebrated machine number 3,000 into the USA. And for Bell, a little company like Bell, to have 3,000 machines in the USA in 10 years, I mean, that's wonderful. And that's up to the dealers. So the dealers have done that for us. So it's been a great experience. As Corey said, we got this new product, Fiori, out of Italy, that we introduced middle of last year. And that's an exciting little product because it's a little bit more niche. It's not a big volume product like Bell. But we're going to have some fun with it and fun with the dealers and get involved in the mini dumpers. We got 3 in the range, 5, 9, and 12 ton. And then we've got a range of mixers, 3 mixers. So that's going to be a little bit of fun. We're starting to introduce that now and start to sell those machines. But Bell has come a long way and the machines are doing excellently for us. We know that the machines have to be supported. So we do a lot of product training, technical training on the product with dealers all the time. We probably have about 28 schools a year on the technical side. So it's not just salespeople that we train, we're also doing technical training as well and trying to make sure that we support the dealers and the product.
Neville, thanks for taking a few minutes with us. I mean, I think just from personal experience, the one thing that stands out about Bell is it's a very family-oriented culture. They are very close to the dealers. They do a really good job of supporting us, which in turn relates to the customer, because if they support us well, we can then turn around and support our customers well with good product knowledge, with good knowledge on the service side of things, great access to parts and service and technical knowledge. They just do a phenomenal job. If you're interested in Bell trucks, if you're interested in Fiori dumpers or Fiori concrete mixers, please reach out to us. You can contact us at our website at www.neddealers.com. And you can just click the little button that says Ask NED. And from there, it'll take you to an opportunity to request a quote or request parts information, service information, you have it. I'm standing here next to Antonio Galovich. Antonio is the Fiori representative, and he is on site with us to talk about the Fiori dumpers as well as the self-batching concrete mixers. And we're standing right next to the Fiori, I think it's a D120, which is a 8.3 cubic yard capacity, 12-ton truck. And he's going to tell us just a couple of things that stand out to his customers and to him as it relates to these Fiori trucks.
Thank you for the opportunity. Today we have the D120, which is a 12 tons, over 26,000 pounds capacity. Main features on this guy: 4-wheel drive, 4-wheel steering. You have a very, very good maneuverability on the machine. And main feature is you can swivel the seat and make your operation more comfortable. You have a fob ropes cabin that protects you, where you can be in the cabin without having any risk to have any injury. 180 degrees bed, big tires, so 600 wide, And with the maneuverability, with the four-wheel steering, you should be able to go anywhere and approach any job site and spread the material comfortable in any direction.
Now we're standing next to the Fiori concrete truck. This is actually a self-batching concrete mixer, and it's a pretty slick machine. It's really neat. You can do it in a few different ways, and I'll let Antonio talk to that. But Antonio's going to give us a quick little 2 to 3 different things about this concrete mixer that really make it stand out.
Okay, thank you again. So this is the DBX35, which makes 4 cubic yards per batch. You can get 3 cycles per hour, so you can reach a production of 12 cubic yards per hour without any problem. It comes equipped with everything what you need to be self-sustainable and self-operational. So you have water tanks that holds 200 gallons to have a full batch. You have 2 tanks for the chemicals. You have 2 admixtures, fully controlled by the batch controller on the cabin, so you can design your mix, set up all your components, and work with the material. The self-loading concept in this case is a super sack arm that you can work with separate components pre-bag. Can be sand and gravel separated in bags, or engineering mixes that comes pre-blend full concrete like a coffee capsule concept. So it's a front discharge, so front loading, front discharge, full visibility from the operational side to control the discharge, and having, more important, is full mobility with the four-wheel drive, four-wheel steering features to discharge under movement. So it's not a static machine. You can discharge and pour concrete under movement along the job site without any problem.
Nice job. That was quick and done. Good job, Antonio. If you're interested in Fiori's products, National Equipment Dealers covers this product line both for their compact dumpers as well as their concrete mixers across our entire footprint, which is, of course, 5 states: North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and Texas. So please visit our website at www.neddealers.com for more information. I'm sitting here in the cab with Brad Castle. Brad is in charge of ADTs for the global market, actually. And I don't know what your official title is, Brad. What's your official title?
Global ADT Product Manager.
Well, that sounds more official than what I just said, so that's good. Brad and I go back quite a ways. We've done some video stuff together in the past at some of these different training events and whatnot. And we just made our rounds going around with some of our salesmen to get their input and their perceptions about the Bell trucks and the support the Bell provides to us and to our customers. But I'm going to give this a run here at the Bell Truck Training in Florida. We're going to run around and be loaded and then go dump the truck and then bring it back. And as we do that, we'll go through some of the features and functions and just kind of get Brad's opinion of some of the new things that these 3.5, what they call PIN 3.5, which is the version of the Bell Truck series that we're sitting in right now, have on them some of the things that have changed and improved. So with that, Brad, just kind of walk me through, and I know how to do this, but kind of give me the top level view of how we would go about starting the truck, okay?
Okay, so to get the truck turned on, not switched on, you'll just basically hit the green button once, and the truck will kind of wake up, and you'll then be required to put in a driver ID code, which the standard code from the factory is the last 4 digits of the vehicle identification number, which you'll find on a plate here in the back of the cab.
So that is 1002?
Correct.
So we would find, where's the 0? I don't see the 0. Okay, 002. All right, we got that figured out.
Okay, so now the truck's ready to start. It's automated start, so it will just be cranked by pushing the green button once again. And now the truck's obviously running. You can feel the AC working, and you'll notice that your park brake is engaged by the red P on the screen. And to release that park brake, you have to use the red P on the SSM, which is your sealed switch module. And you can keep your foot off the brake, and you'll notice as you release it, your auto park brake comes on the screen. So that is also known as your neutral park brake. So whenever the truck is put into neutral, that will come on to avoid any potential rollback. And to release the automatic park brake, you just engage drive or reverse, and the minute you press the accelerator and there's enough torque to pull away without moving the truck uncontrollably, it will release and you can drive on.
That's a really nice feature. And when you're on a hill, they actually call that hill hold and hill assist. So it's the same principle on a hill. If you happen to be stopped on a hill, your park brake automatically engages. You won't roll back and hit any trucks that might be coming up behind you. And in order to pull away, you've got to generate enough torque by accelerating to be able to exceed the amount of torque needed to move the truck and overpass the park brake, right?
Exactly. So we're constantly measuring the roll and the pitch of the truck, which is basically your up-down angle of the truck as a whole and your left-right angle. So that would use that as part of the calculation to work out your angle and how much torque is needed to pull away without rolling back. So that also takes that into account.
Okay, well then I guess without further ado, we'll hit the drive button. You know what the global product manager for ADTs is telling me is you better put your seatbelt on, fool. So we're going to do that right now. Of course, you need to have your seatbelt on before pulling away, have all your safety gear in place. You will have done your pre-check inspection for the day, which means that you've gone around, you've checked all your fluids, you've made sure there's no debris under the truck, you've checked your lights, everything's in good working order, no leaks, nothing, and you're ready to go to work. And I will say, in terms of cab, creatures, and comforts, you've heard that over and over again from our salespeople, but it really is no lie. This is it's got a Mercedes engine. This is a Mercedes cab, even though it's not. It's built by Bell, but it is super high quality and very, very comfortable. The fit and finish in it is just amazing. So.
Well, the fact that you're holding the camera in your left hand and you only need one hand to control the keypad is also an advantage because you don't have to have any controls on the left-hand side. So it's all on the right-hand side at an easy grabbing area.
Well, I'm going to turn camera duty over to you, and I'm going to hit drive. Well, we've hit drive. Now I'm going to release the brake, and we're going to start generating enough torque to pull away, and here we go. Now, one thing, I'm going to stop up here for a second just to adjust the steering column and steering wheel to my liking. So I'm going to pull to a stop here just real quick. Okay, and I can actually scope and telescope the steering wheel, which for me I wanted a little bit lower than that, and I have the ability to adjust the tilt just like that. So now I'm in a real good, comfortable, ergonomic position, and I'm ready to go. And I haven't done this route yet, so you're going to have to teach me how to do this, okay? All right, here we go.
And you'll notice that we unloaded, so the truck's pulling off in second gear. That helps with comfort and also fuel saving because you're not using an inefficient first gear when it's not required.
So tell me a little bit about yourself, Brad. How'd you get started with Bell Trucks?
So I started in 2011 as a sales rep for Bell Equipment in Zambia, which is it's a country, 2 countries north of South Africa, which is where Bell's head office is. I started there as a trainee sales rep, and then I made my way up to a fully fledged sales rep, and then I did a stint as a dealer manager, for South America and East Africa, and then I took on a role at the factory as the Northern Hemisphere ADT Product Marketing Manager.
Awesome.
And then from there I moved to the US, and I was based in North Carolina as the dealer manager for Canada, and then also on the product marketing side for the USA.
Awesome.
And then I currently I've moved in April to the United Kingdom, where I'm now a bit more central for covering my global role, which I'm supporting the sales operations around the world through either Bell subsidiaries or Bell distributors.
And your brother works for us too, right? He works for Bell?
He's been with Bell, I want to say 23 years now. He's on the technical side. He's just currently a factory technical analyst. So he's basically the link on the technical side between the machine on the ground and the engineering department. On that way and head down towards the excavator in the pit, and we'll put some rock in the back.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about this new version of the Bell Trucks, the PIN 3.5, and some of the things that you've noticed both from a service interval standpoint and maybe the SSM keypad and other things that stand out that have been changed and improved.
So we used to run a 25 button SSM on the sealed switch model. And on the PIN 3.4 truck, we went to it's basically a 30 button, but it's 2 15 button SSMs together, and that's just allowed us to add some extra features onto the SSM at the touch of the operator's hand. So you now have 5 more buttons, which in essence have given us 5 more features, namely your manual regen on and off, your speed control settings on a separate button for ease of access, and the biggest change that we've now seen on the PIN 3.5 is that previously we used to have to do a 100-hour service on all of the trucks, and then it would go from then to 500 and then 500 intervals from then on. So on the pin 3.5 now, we've eliminated the 100-hour service at the beginning, and we start with the 500-hour service.
That's awesome. That's a big savings for us and for the customer.
Absolutely. And yeah, that's been the pin 3.5 truck started arriving towards the end of last year, and yeah, the guys are really enjoying the advantages of not having that first service at 100 hours.
That's great.
So when you go down the hill here, you can actually take your foot off the accelerator, and what
Just
will happen
use the retarders?
It will be automatic.
So the retarder level, though, I need to apply, correct?
Yeah, so when all the LEDs are off, it's automatic. It will choose how harsh it needs to kick in for you.
Oh, okay, that is a new feature.
But when you're coming on the downhill and you've got your foot on the accelerator, when you remove it, it will record the speed that was at that time you removed your foot, and it will use the engine braking and in this case the wet brake retardation on the B30 to maintain that speed for you.
Wow.
So that's a very nice feature to give some confidence to the operator, whereas he's loaded going on a decline, he just has to steer where the truck's going and to automatically keep him at a comfortable
So that
speed.
is a new feature, because my understanding is on the previous trucks, I think when all the lights were not illuminated, you had about 15% brake retardation. Is that correct?
Yeah. So that was a lot of a slower, slower engagement. So if you were fully loaded on a decline, you would might feel a bit of a run before it actually kicked in. But now what the truck does is it actually notices the angle you're on, and it will then automatically put the harshness of the retarder. You'll see the lights moving up and down. It will be using certain percentages on it.
So the accelerometer is the same sensors that are being utilized to, probably better stop here.
Yeah, you good, yeah.
The same sensors that are utilized to determine the roll and pitch of the truck that are used in the safety feature that's known as tip safe are also used now for the automatic retarder system.
Absolutely, yeah. And just talking about sort of inclines and declines, the Allison transmission now also has fuel sense calibration. It's a couple pins old, but it's worthwhile talking about because that actually adapts to the profile of the haul road. So if you're on a decline, it changes gears a lot quicker to save fuel, obviously, and then on the incline it will hold the gears for a bit longer to keep your momentum and your performance. So what that Allison fuel sense calibration has actually done is it's given more comfort to the operator. It puts you in the correct gear at the right time, and it also saves on fuel.
Okay, awesome. So we are sitting here getting ready to get loaded by one of the Hyundais. It works out here at this particular mine site. This is a good customer of ours. We had to go through all the training necessary for us to be on this site and work on this site. As soon as they get this other truck loaded, they're going to load us. Now, one of the things that customers like about these trucks that I know I've brought to their attention, or I've heard about, is the onboard weigh scale that's in here. It's very, very accurate. I think that it's a combination of strain gauges at both the walking beams and also at the articulation joint. Is that correct?
Correct. So our previous series truck, we only measured on the left and right walking beam, but what happens on the truck is when the bed gets loaded, you get weight transfer coming to the front of the truck. And the most accurate way to calculate that weight transfer was by putting an additional third strain gauge on the articulation joint. So now we're monitoring the weight basically in a triangle versus just across. So we've got a very accurate system that calculates all the weight going through and the weight transfer going through the front of the truck.
Excellent. I'm going to transfer the camera back to you, let you continue to record, and then I'm going to pull up here next to this excavator and let him load us out. So if I didn't mention it earlier, we're in a B30E, which is a 30-ton truck with a cubic yard capacity heaped of, where are we at on that, 23, 24 cubic yards?
Yep.
Where do you think I need to pull up?
He should give you a honk when we, I think a little bit forward we should do that.
And we're stopped.
No honk. And with the onboard weighing, so if you want to turn the toggle on the STC to the, turn it across, we can open up, you just rotate it. If we go across to the payload, which will be further next one after that, so now we'll be able to watch the tonnage go up while he's loading us, and then that may change slightly while we're moving because it is dynamic. So with the truck turning or moving, the weight is moving around a bit, but the recorded weight is at the dump site, because normally when you're at a dump site it's flat and you're stationary, so that will be your most accurate point to calculate the actual payload at that time. So that will be the recorded payload for that specific cycle will be at the dump site.
So do you have the ability to change it from metric tons to US tons to pounds?
Not on the CDU, no. That will just show as your metric ton. Yeah.
Okay, I got you. So it's in the readout's always a metric ton.
Metric tons, correct.
Gotcha. Pretty slick.
So this material does seem to be a bit light because we do get a good load in, but we don't reach the target payload. So this looks like it's some sort of a shale material. So it's definitely light.
Shell. It's definitely shell. Shell and some limestone, probably. Maybe you can get a little focus of some of the material and get loaded.
It's getting some good loads in there.
Yep. Right now we're at 14.8 tons, 15 tons. It's a good operator. I will say, comfort-wise, this is absolutely bar none the best heavy equipment seat I've ever been in. It's so comfortable. Very thick.
I'm enjoying the AC at the moment. It's pretty warm out here.
Nice. And we're going to talk about some other features. One thing that I think really stands out with the Bell trucks are both the safety features, which we're going to end up having to utilize here in just a second. So as it relates to being able to dump the bin, this has a feature called iTip. iTip uses those same accelerometers that are determining the roll and pitch of the truck. And I think the default, and correct me if I'm wrong, Brad, is maybe 15% of grade. Won't allow you to dump the bin if you exceed 15%. That's the default from the factory?
Correct, and that's the standard setting, and the reason we do that is due to the truck oscillating. The operator could be sitting on a flat surface, but the rear chassis could be at an angle and he won't feel it because he's sitting flat. So with this feature, if the bed's at an angle of 15 or more at the rear and he doesn't know, it won't let him dump the bed. So before we get to the iTip feature, I would like you to take your foot off the accelerator now while we're climbing. So we're climbing the heel loaded.
So I haven't depressed the brake. It automatically goes to neutral, which automatically applies to park brake, and I haven't slid back, not even one iota. So if I had a truck behind me, you don't have to worry about damaging the front end of the truck behind me.
There's absolutely no rollback, and that was a fully loaded bed, and that you didn't have to touch anything. So there's no intervention required by the operator from that point of view. And what's happening now is the accelerometers are calculating the angle that we're at and how much torque is needed to pull away without rolling back. So all you'll need to do is press your accelerator pedal, and before the track is, and there you pulled off without any rollback.
Wow, that's amazing. That is a really, really nice safety feature. As we get closer to where we're going to dump, am I taking a left or a right?
You're going to take a left.
As we get closer to where we're actually going to dump this load, we'll talk about a feature known as iTip. And iTip is an automatic dump mode that automatically, when applied, it automatically increases and revs your engine RPM. It applies your neutral park brake, puts the machine into neutral, applies the park brake, increases your engine RPM, and raises the bin with the touch of one button, which is a really nice feature. How do we going to go around this pile?
Yeah, you can just go around and cut through the middle, then it'll go dump on the side.
It just saves a ton of time. I've been on other trucks that don't have that feature. From a fatigue and a convenience standpoint and productivity standpoint, it's really nice.
You can see the trucks have been working this morning. These mountains are growing.
Sorry, I drive like a grandpa.
Because you're so comfortable, you just want to take it easy.
That's right. I just want to lay back and enjoy life.
So we could just go forward and back up into this indented pile here. Yeah, I'll go straight into that gap there. It looks like it was made for us.
Yeah, perfect. All right. And one nice thing is these trucks all come with a standard, very viewable and easy to see backup camera, which is actually easy to see even in dark or in poor lighting conditions. So now we're going to put it into, do we need to hit neutral first?
You can just go straight into reverse.
Go straight into reverse. And now the screen, as you can see, I don't know if you can point it to the screen there, Brad. The screen goes to a full screen for our backup, and you can see the visibility is just phenomenal. It's easy to see even in high sunlight conditions. So now we're going to back up.
And you'll see in the bottom right, that's your pitch angle, or your roll angle, and the pitch angle. So that's what will go red if you're over 15%. So you can just back up, and then you won't have to engage neutral or the park brake. When you're ready to dump, you can just hit the up button and it will automatically do all that for you. And it will dump the bed up to 100%.
The key is you got to remember you're not pulling a trailer here. You feel like you are at first, right? But it's definitely not like backing a trailer in. It's a whole lot easier than that. All right, what have I done wrong here?
You're good there.
Good?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm way
You have a bit of an angle, but you're fine. Yeah, that's perfect. So if you hit the bed up button once,
so now I'm just going to, if you'll focus on the SSM keypad here, I'll take over. So I'm just going to hit this button.
Below, yeah, that one.
So this is my iTip button. I'm in soft stop mode with iTip, meaning that it's going to apply the neutral, it's going to apply the park brake, it's going to rev my engine RPM, so that when I'm ready to bend up with this button, it'll do it automatically. So as you can see, I'm going to hit that button. Neutral's automatically applied, park brake's automatically applied, engine RPM without touching the pedal is going. Our bend is dumping. And I'm in a safe working condition. Okay? So once I've done that, the nice thing about the Bell, and maybe you can add some to this, Brad, is I can actually pull away and it limits me to first gear as I'm pulling away, as the bed under its own gravity starts to lower. So it does limit my speed, I think, but I have the ability to pull away as the bed is lowering.
Correct, so you'll have to engage drive now, because obviously with the iTip it put you in neutral. So you'll pull away now and you'll see there'll be an amber flashing light on the CDU showing you that the bed is up.
Here, you control that. Yep.
And then
now I can hit down?
Yeah, hit down once and it will automatically drop the bed.
Yeah.
And you'll be limited to first gear.
Okay.
But as soon as the bed's at a safe angle, you'll feel the truck kick back in and change to second gear.
And then to get back down where we were, how do I get back down there? Back here?
Yeah.
Okay, I see what it is. Awesome. These are great trucks. They really are. And they're, we do a good job at training our customers when we deliver new trucks. Sometimes you have an inexperienced operator getting in these, and so we really feel the training is very important to make sure that they're, one, safe, and two, using all the productivity enhancements and features of these trucks so that they do what they're meant to do and do it at the highest level of productivity that's available.
And that's the reason why we have a lot of these automated features on the truck, is to keep the operator safe and to keep the truck running at its optimum condition.
Brad, I appreciate you taking a few minutes with us. If you're interested in anything to do with Bell trucks, we're the largest Bell truck dealer in the nation. You can reach out to us at nedealers.com. That's www.nedealers.com. And you can select Ask NED, where you can request a quote, request additional information, put in a service request, ask for parts. All of that information is available through our website. And we'd love to work with you on Bell trucks. Great product. We keep these in our rental fleet and we sell them. And thank you for taking a few minutes with us, and thank you for taking some time with me, Brad.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
All right, so then now, do I have to hit neutral?
You hit neutral and then the auto park brake will come on. But then normally if you're going to exit the truck, I like to engage the physical park brake.
Okay.
And then if you want to shut down the truck, you've got your small stop button next to the green button. So if you hit that once, it'll do automatic turbo spin down, which is another automated feature to keep the truck running at an optimum condition.
And you can see you do not want to cancel this turbo spin down procedure. You want to let it do that. It cools itself down. Automatically it's siphoning out the DEF fluid from the DEF lines. You can turn the battery disconnect switch off on these new trucks and it's not an issue, is that correct?
Yeah, so we've got a little LED above the battery oscillator switch, which once that is put in the off position, the LED light stays on, showing that there's still power being held to the truck. And what that will do is it will allow the controllers to shut down correctly, and then also the post run on the DEF system to avoid any freezing of lines, which the lines are heated as well, so that's an extra measure just to make sure there isn't a forced shutdown on the truck.
Awesome. Well, we're going to get on with the rest of our training, get on some other trucks, get on the Fiori product, and eat a little lunch, and we've got a full day of training packed for us, planned for us throughout this day. So thank you for spending a few minutes with us. We hope you learned a little bit about the Bell trucks. Reach out to us again on our website, and we'll see you soon.